welcome to Brunei Interviews. My name is Tadgh. In this episode we interview Garda Shane Kelly. I hope you enjoy and like and subscribe. Hi Shane, welcome to Brunei Interviews.
Thanks very much guys, I'm delighted to be here. Good to see you again.
My name is Tadgh.
And my name is Kian.
My name is Shane. I'm the Juvenile Liaison Officer based in the Bible Garda Station, and I've been working there for the last 13 years.
So we have some questions to ask you. Have you been to our school before?
I have indeed. I've been a few times. I've been in with the community guards, the Garda Kian and Garda Brendan, and we've given talks to school kids over the last probably 5 or 6 years I've been in, and I always enjoyed my time here, and I love meeting the students.
And where did you grow up and go to school?
So I'm originally from Dublin in South Dublin, and I went to primary school in St. Colin Kill School in Dublin, and then I went to Closhane, a secondary school in Ballyrone. And I really liked school, especially secondary school. Like I loved playing GAA with the school, and when I was in second year, we went on a trip to Paris in France, which I really loved as well, so it was nice to get away. The one regret I have was that I skipped fourth year, that we had the option of not doing transition year, and it meant I was only 17 then when I left school, which I think was very young.
Yeah. How long have you been a Garda for?
13 years. So I've been a juvenile liaison officer, my current job now for 5 years. So the rest of the time then I was on the regular units, out on the beat, driving the cars, in the station, in the prison section. So it was very good, but I really like my job now because I get to help young people like yourselves.
In those 14 years, have you worked in any other stations?
I was a student guard, so when I first was in Templemore studying to be a guard, I was sent out as a student to Shankill Garda Station, which is on the south side of Dublin. It's probably closer to Wicklow than it would be to Dublin, and it was a lot different than it was here in the city centre, as it was a lot quieter. So I was there for 6 months, but after that 6 months I went back to Garda College, and I've been in the Brywell since, so it's been my station for the last 13 years.
How long have you been in college for?
Garda College, okay, so when I did it slightly changed now, but when I was down there initially it was 9 months. So I did for 9 months in the college, where I learned about the law, I learned about self-defence, learned how to use handcuffs, pepper spray, baton, that type of thing, and about the law and how to deal with people. And then I had 6 months out in my training station, which was Shankill, and then I went back down to Templemore for another 3 months, where I did more study. Before then I came to the Brywell. So once I left Templemore after the second 3 months, then I got my Garda badge, which I can show you. And then you have full power. So that's my badge there. Show it.
Looks cool.
Yeah. So that's my ID. So every guard has to carry their badge with them. So see, I don't wear uniform because of my job. I have to carry this with me. Yeah. So if I'm telling somebody that I'm a guard, I have to show them that to show that I definitely am a guard. I'm not pretending to be a guard.
Why did you decide to become guard?
Probably even when I was very young, my mum and dad always said that I was always very law-abiding. So like I'd be in a car and I'd always be asking my mum, can you park here? Is it okay to park here? Have you paid your parking ticket? So I think I always sort of, had this, not a fear of authority, but always kind of wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing. And then I remember when I was in secondary school, we went on a trip to the Garda College in Templemore to have a look around. I really enjoyed it. My next door neighbour was also a guard at the time, and he was in his Garda uniform, and you could see him on his Garda motorbike. So I found it to be very exciting. And even when I was really young, I always had like cars, with the lights and sirens where you can press, Garda car or police cars and fire engines. So I kind of always liked the idea of being in the emergency services and then the police in particular.
What is your favourite part of your job?
My job now is definitely helping people, because I help, say, young people under the age of 18 who get in trouble, say commit crime, but also who don't, like yourselves, who are just normal, young people going through school, And as you get older, there's challenges out there. So my job is to probably help young people get through any challenges that they might have. And if they do get in trouble, to try get them, stop getting into more trouble after that. So if I meet a young person that maybe has gotten into trouble, and I can find a way to stop them getting into further trouble, that's probably the best thing. Because, I was a child myself, and I understand that young people and children make mistakes, and I don't want it affecting their future, because what age are you guys now? 12, yeah, so I wouldn't want you guys at 12 making a mistake then that could affect you when you're 20, 21, 22, you're a lot older, and you're looking back on why did I do that as a child. So I'm here, if you do make a mistake or you do need help, I'm here to kind of point you in the right direction.
What is the hardest part of the job?
Hardest part is probably sometimes you try so hard to help a person, and sometimes for whatever reason they can't be helped, whether it be their situation at home, whether it be drugs. Drugs can sometimes be a hard thing for people. Like I'm trying to work with somebody, but if they're addicted to drugs, it's a lot harder to help them because they need to really try reduce the amount of drugs they take before we can really help them in a way we want to. Before this job, when I used to work in uniform, there was other hard things because you had people trying to hit you, people trying to spit at you, which is tough. Also the hours, like the guards are 24/7, so the lads in uniform on the street, they're working Christmas Day, they're working Easter, St. Patrick's Day, they're working weekends, they're working night shifts. So when their friends and family might be at home enjoying themselves, the guards are in the station working away. And it's the same, I suppose, for like ambulance personnel and fire brigade, that you have to work the hours that other people don't, that might be at home. Then also, like I said, the fear of going out and maybe being assaulted, not getting home to your family is tough too.
How long do you work for?
So my hours is that I still work weekends as well. Because my job, I have to be around, say, when families might need me. So I work during the week, so I can come into schools to see the likes of yourselves. But then I also work some evenings and weekends. So if I have to meet a family, say, where the parents are working and the child, the young person's in school, then I can meet them in the evening time. So it's a mixture of morning times and evening times, but I don't work any more night shifts. So say the guards in the station in the uniform, they work from 7 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't work those hours because, like I said, most people would be asleep, at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. But for the lads in uniform, they have to be around because, as they say, crime never sleeps.
How old do you need to be to join the Guards?
You have to be at least 18. So, and do your leaving cert. So what you need to do is do your leaving cert, and you have to pass maths, and you have to pass Irish. So it's not like it's not like 600 points. It's not like you're trying to get in place in Trinity College doing business and commerce or something like that. It's kind of once you get your leaving cert and pass your subjects, then you can join the Guards. And then you can be 18 is the minimum age, and the maximum age is 35. So, but a lot of people sort of join when they're maybe 21, 22, early 20s. I was 21 when I first joined the Guards.
Do you need to go to college to become a guard?
No, but if you don't need to go to, say, another college before you join. But when you do join the Guards, you go to Garda College, which is in Temple Moore, but you don't need another course. Now, some people, when they're 18, 19, might not know what they want to do, and they might do another course, say in UCE or Trinity College or DIT, another, kind of get some experience, and then maybe later on decide to join the Guards. So you can do another course beforehand, but it's not, you don't have to, it's up to you.
What is your proudest moment as a Garda?
Proudest moment, one of the proud moments that kind of sticks out to me was actually when I first got my powers, when I first got through the Garda College. So that was nice because you get your family down, you're in this kind of fancy dress uniform and you're marching on the square. So it's a nice day out, and you get your picture taken with your family down in the Garda College, which was great, really, really nice day out. And also getting this job because it wasn't easy getting this job that I'm in, because a lot of people want it, because it is very, very rewarding. And I had to go through an interview process to get this job. So I had to do an interview in front of a Garda superintendent and a Garda inspector, and tell them why I should be given the job, what I'm good at, what my strengths will be. And when I got this job, I was absolutely delighted. So they're the two things that really stand out. First of all, having the day out, getting my Garda powers, and having my family down in More, and then also getting this job, which I love so much.
I want to be a Garda when I grow up. Do you have any advice for me?
I'd say just throughout your childhood, keep going to school. Keep going to school and be involved in sports as well. And, sports and hobbies. Keep yourself busy, because the young people that I see get themselves in trouble, they don't go to school, they don't have any hobbies, so they're bored. And when people are bored, that's when they're going to make mistakes or maybe get in trouble. So because the thing is, if you get in a lot of trouble as a child, sometimes it might affect your future going forward. Like I said earlier, like if you went to court and got a criminal conviction, that's when the judge finds you guilty. You mightn't be able to get certain jobs like a guard or a teacher or a nurse. So the advice that I always give is, definitely stay in school, work hard. You have to work hard in everything, and if you do that, then you have a great chance of getting in.
Do you have any funny stories you can share with us?
I don't think of any funny stories. I have one in particular. I was public order trained, so I used to be in the riot police, and we were in a riot van coming back to the station. We just pulled into Store Street Station, the yard, and there were 6 of us in the back of the van, and one of the guys, he was unbuckling his seatbelt, but he didn't realise he'd actually unbuckled his pepper spray instead. So the pepper spray that we have, it has a little button that you have to push down on in order to let the pepper spray go, and instead of opening the buckle of the seatbelt, he basically unbuckled his pepper spray and then was spraying the whole van, and our eyes were red, we were coughing and spluttering. Thank God we were just back at the station, we could jump out really, really quickly. Then another thing is that, like, working on a unit, when I was working in the stations with all my colleagues, we used to have so much fun, because you're working long hours together, and sometimes you'd see the people you work with more often than you would your family, so they nearly become part of your family too, and it used to have great fun, great laughs. But yeah, definitely the one story that stands out was the guard unloading the pepper spray into the van by accident. He didn't mean to do it, and in fairness to him, he apologised afterwards, so we had a laugh and it was okay.
Just before we go, we have one more question.
Yeah.
We are great footballers in Brummer, and we would love to have a football match against you and the lads from the Broadwell sometime. Do you think that would be up for a challenge?
Definitely, yeah, no, we'd definitely be up for that now, especially that the COVID restrictions are easing, because unfortunately the last couple of years we haven't been able to do much things like that. But yeah, no, we'd love to do that. We can definitely arrange that, and thanks very much, guys.
Thank you for your time today. It has really been enjoyable. Thank you.
I've enjoyed it now. Anytime, you can always ask me to come in, and I'll always give a hand.